The survival clock starts now.
Following the ejection signal, pararescue mobilized immediately. They had minutes to recover the pilot before enemy forces closed in.
And from that exact moment, everything changes. Somewhere on the ground, one of them is trying to move.
Yes, disoriented, heart still racing, knowing that every second matters. Because in a situation like this, they're not the...
At the same time, miles away, something else is already happening. Engines are starting.
Crews are running. Coordinates are being estimated, refined, updated in real time.
Because when a U.S. pilot goes down behind enemy lines, there is no delay. No hesitation.
A process begins immediately, one that has been built, tested, and refined over decades.
Above, an A-10 starts circling, scanning the ground, ready to respond to anything that moves. Further out, more aircraft spread across the sky, building a picture of where that pilot might be. Because now, it's a race.
A race to find one person before someone else does. And here's the part most people never see.
By the time the rescue even begins, the pilot on the ground is already fighting to survive. So the real question is not just what happens when a jet is shot down.
It's this. How are they trained to stay alive long enough for anyone to reach them? The moment a pilot hits the ground, there is no pause.
No time to recover. No moment to sit and think. Everything becomes a race against time.
Military estimates suggest that in many combat zones, enemy forces can reach a crash site in under 30 minutes. Immediately, they gather whatever survived the ejection: radio, survival kit, any usable gear. And they move away from the landing site.
Not casually, but deliberately, putting distance between themselves and the most obvious point of search. Because that parachute is a...
It tells anyone nearby exactly where to start looking. So the pilot disappears. Fast.
And this is where training takes over. Before a pilot ever flies into combat, they go through SERE. Survival, evasion, resistance, and escape. And this is not theoretical training. It's designed to simulate exactly what happens when things go wrong. Pilots are taught how to survive with almost nothing, how to move undetected across hostile terrain.
The goal of evasion training is simple: be invisible, not heroic, and how to avoid capture even when actively being hunted.
How to stay warm without giving away their position, and how to navigate without relying on GPS. But more than anything, they learn how to think under pressure. Because once they're on the ground, everything becomes a series of decisions. When to move.
When to hide. When to take the risk of making contact. And time is not on their side.
After roughly 24 to 48 hours, fatigue, dehydration, and stress begin to take a toll. Decision-making's toll.
And the chances of being detected increase. So every action has to be calculated. Every move matters.
At some point, the pilot has to make contact. But that's one of the most dangerous things they can do.
Every transmission risks revealing their position. Signals can be intercepted. Directions can be triangulated.
So instead of long communications, they rely on short, encrypted bursts. Just enough to confirm they're alive. And give a rough idea of their location. Sometimes that means narrowing down a search area from hundreds of miles to just a few.
And once that signal is received, everything shifts. Now it's no longer just survival. Now, it's a rescue mission.
Combat Search and Rescue, or CSAR, is one of the most complex operations in modern warfare. Entire missions are launched to recover a single individual. Within a short window, multiple aircraft can be airborne, coordinating across large distances, all focused on extracting one pilot from hostile territory. But by this point, the situation is already evolving. Enemy forces may be searching the same area. They may be tracking signals, watching roads, scanning terrain.
A CSAR mission is not just a helicopter flying in to pick someone up. It's a coordinated package of aircraft, each with a specific role.
They move at speeds of around 150 to 180 miles per hour, pushing deep into hostile areas.
Above them, A-10 aircraft provide close air support, ready to engage any threat on the ground with overwhelming firepower.
Further out, fighter jets maintain air superiority, ensuring no enemy aircraft interfere with the mission.
All of this is coordinated in real time. All of this for one person.
At the center of the rescue are para-rescue jumpers, known as PJs. They are highly trained in both combat and advanced medical care.
Capable of operating in the most dangerous conditions. When the helicopter reaches the pickup zone, it often doesn't land fully.
Instead, it hovers briefly while the PJ moves out, secures the pilot, and assesses their condition. They may be dealing with broken bones, burns, or internal injuries, all while exposed to potential enemy fire. And they do it fast.
Because time on the ground is the most dangerous part of the mission. When the extraction begins, everything moves quickly.
The pilot is either pulled into the helicopter or attached to a hoist if landing isn't possible. The aircraft climbs just enough to clear obstacles, then accelerates away at high speed, flying low to avoid detection. Even then, the danger isn't over.
Helicopters in these missions are vulnerable, and in real operations, they have taken fire during both approach and extraction. But once the mission starts, there is no turning back. They either get the pilot out, or they don't.
This is not just theory. When that F-15 was shot down, everything we've talked about was set into motion in real time.
2 crew members ejected. 1 was recovered. That means somewhere in that chain, survival, evasion.
System worked exactly as designed. But the second crew member remains missing, and that's where the situation becomes far more uncertain. If a pilot isn't recovered quickly, the situation becomes more difficult with every passing hour.
They may be moving only a few miles at a time, avoiding open terrain, traveling at night, trying to remain invisible.
At the same time, search efforts, both friendly and hostile, expand outward. The longer it takes, the larger the area becomes.
And the harder it is to find one person on the ground. So every decision matters. Do they move, or stay hidden? Do they transmit, or stay silent? And how long can they keep going?
There is a critical window in these operations. While every situation is different, the highest chances of recovery are often within the first 24 to 72 hours.
After that, the odds begin to shift. Search areas expand, conditions worsen, information becomes less precise,
And the mission becomes harder. That's why speed matters. That's why risk is taken. Because waiting is often the most dangerous option. Behind all of this is a simple idea. You don't leave people behind. It's not just a principle, it's something that shapes how missions are planned, how pilots operate, and how far rescue teams are willing to go.
Because when a pilot goes down, they know one thing for certain. Someone is coming. So when you see aircraft flying miles above the ground, it's easy to think of it as controlled, predictable.
But the moment something goes wrong, everything changes. It becomes a race measured in minutes, in miles, in decisions made under pressure.
And somewhere, maybe right now, there's a pilot on the ground, hidden, waiting, relying on every hour of training they've ever had.
Listening, hoping, waiting for one thing. The sound of helicopters in the distance.
Because in that moment, one question matters more than anything else. Are they coming?